Welcome to Diet Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, in Thailand, TIMA medical staff join hands with local hospitals in a free clinic to help over 700 patients. An alternative care option is now made available to dementia patients through a group home program that provides family-like atmosphere. And we look back at how the 15 years of humanitarian aid from the US in the 50s paved the way for Taiwan's rapid economic growth today. It has been more than 2 weeks since the devastating Ya'an earthquake hit China on April 20th, and in Lushan County, mobile laundry trucks have arrived at the worst-hit regions to allow quake survivors wash their bedsheets and clothing. Meanwhile, disinfectant has also been spread around tent areas to prevent possible disease outbreak.
Early morning here in Lushan County, disinfectant is being spread around tents set up around the local gymnasium.
上午、下午。今天喷2次。2次。都洗到中午了。上午喷了，这中午喷来的嘛。对。
To prevent the spread of diseases, a local army unit has arrived with mobile laundry trucks to help quake survivors wash their bed sheets and clothing free of charge.
The water that will be used in these laundry machines has been sanitized, and it will go through sanitation once again after it is added to the machines.
Place we are sleeping is very wet, and when the mobile laundry truck came, I said I can finally have dry bed sheets.
They can clean the clothing better and safer because we ourselves don't have any detergent to wash our clothes with.
Since it has been raining here for the past few days, the local government and army are working hand in hand to do a thorough sanitation around the disaster zone to prevent the possible outbreak of disease.
Following the massive flooding in Thailand's Ayutthaya province in 2011, city volunteers have carried out a series of relief work to help local residents. Recently, on April 28, TIMA doctors and medical volunteers joined local healthcare providers in organizing a free clinic to help over 700 patients alleviate their pain and suffering.
Holding her 4-month-old little girl as she rushes to the site of the free clinic is U Tai. Her baby was born with a cleft palate, which has made it hard for her to take in breast milk, thus resulting in ear problems.
Infants born with cleft palate usually suffer from middle ear effusion, so first we have to cure their middle ear before undertaking corrective surgery, or they will develop problems in hearing and speech.
Thankfully for U Tai, medical staff were there to give her much-needed support and arrange for her to receive further treatment at a local hospital.
Every medical volunteer was so kind here at the free clinic. I'm accompanied by volunteers wherever I went. I'm so thankful for your love and care.
As part of their continual care for local residents, following the massive floods in 2011, TIMA doctors and medical volunteers have partnered with 5 local hospitals to organize this free clinic here in Kokoet, Bang Patayan District, Ayutthaya Province.
Though we are from different hospitals, we have developed good chemistry here. From the recipients' smiles, we can see how the staff's love has truly touched their hearts.
As most residents here only earn a small income, they often endure their sickness instead of paying to see a doctor. Tzu Chi's free clinic was a chance for many to finally get their problems looked into.
I've attended other free clinics before, but the doctors didn't prescribe any medication. Today, the doctor not only diagnosed my grandson, but also gave us medication.
If Tzu Chi can hold free clinics more often, residents can get access to medical services more easily, as they won't have to pay extra for transportation or medicine.
Other than the dedication of the volunteers and medical staff, 60 medical students also took part in the event, hoping to carry Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit forward along with their career as a healthcare provider.
Moving to the Philippines, as a rice distribution for disadvantaged families has been planned in conjunction with the Buddha Day ceremony, which falls on May 12 this year. City volunteers first carried out home visitations to survey the living conditions of local residents. In total, 6,500 families will receive this gift of love from Taiwan.
As the recipients pick up their bag of rice, we follow them home to learn their life stories.
gumalaw na ang susi, kaya kilalang-kilala tayo dito. Kung matanong mo mga
Inside this less than 10 square meter house lives Isabel's family of 4. As she suffers from a thyroid tumor and is unemployed, her husband is now the sole breadwinner in the family.
The tumor has troubled me for 10 years. I don't have money to see a doctor, and my husband's job is unstable.
In this community, many residents live in poverty and often borrow money to sustain their lives.
We often borrow a week of living expense in advance to support ourselves. If we didn't, we would have nothing to eat.
To seek better job opportunities, many here moved from remote areas to the city, as they believed their life would be better off as a result. Nonetheless, in the city, they not only live in poorer neighborhoods, but also cannot make ends meet.
Our life was way better back there in the province than here in the city. In the province, you can ask your neighbors for help and they will give you some of the vegetables they've planted. But here, if you don't have any money, you cannot eat.
During the home visitations, I realized how blessed I am compared with those less fortunate. I also encourage other volunteers to take part in such events, as they will not only facilitate with the survey work, but also be inspired in the process.
Volunteers hope to compile the list of recipients as soon as possible, so as to provide impoverished families with much needed assistance.
Continuing on our feature report on dementia, today we look into an alternative housing option for early to mid-stage sufferers of Alzheimer's, a group home pilot project first conducted in Sweden and Japan, where seniors can live but still maintain a family-like atmosphere, has recently been looked at as a possible option here in Taiwan. However, the cost of running and living in such a place is currently not economically sound.
In the eyes of Su Yun, the person holding her hand, her husband of some 60 years is a total stranger as she suffers from Alzheimer's.
Don't you want to see him? You keep asking me to take you to see him. Now that he's here, you don't want to see him?
Before Mr. Lee, now over 90 years old, placed his wife in nursing care, he took care of her all on his own. The elderly taking care of the elderly is becoming common practice in Taiwan's modern-day society.
房间在里面。
我要帮忙干什么？
我是常常坐在这里。
爷爷那里坐啊。爷爷坐，爷爷请坐。
Mr. Lee lives alone under the accommodations provided by Taiwan's Department of Social Affairs. But thanks to the help of a home attendant that comes in to clean and look after him, Mr. Lee is getting along okay. However, in Taiwan's aging society, there is currently a lack of home attendants, while sending their elderly to a nursing home is not an affordable option for many. Many wonder if there is a better solution for the future senior residents of Taiwan.
Currently, we are calling upon the government to think about a long-term care insurance program that citizens can start paying for when younger, so that in the future, if needed, that money can be used to offset medical fees occurring with things like Alzheimer's, nursing homes, and such.
But Taiwan still seems to be set in traditional ways, where sending the elderly to a nursing facility is frowned upon and seen as unfilial behavior.
Taiwan is soon approaching a hyper-aged society where seniors taking care of seniors like Mr. Lee and his wife will become more common. Inside is Taiwan's first group home where they take in the elderly who suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's. The staff will play various activities and games to help residents with retaining motor functions and to make everyone feel at home.
Our group home is based on a community atmosphere where we encourage seniors to do their part in helping out around the house, like cleaning, sweeping, and other household chores. Staff members will be by the senior side to assist them if needed to complete these tasks.
For someone whose abilities have deteriorated to a certain level or someone who is mentally disabled, this type of a group home is very suitable, as they don't want to be too far away from family but still want to have a certain amount of space for them to freely move about in.
Compared to other nursing facilities that take in mid to late stage Alzheimer's sufferers, a group home provides a well-rounded service. But the cost is not something every family can afford. And as for investors, they might not consider a group home to be a cost-effective undertaking. Getting older is unavoidable, and in facing the possible onset of dementia and Alzheimer's, perhaps our preparation in taking care of the elderly is not yet finished.
In Klang, Malaysia, Tzu volunteer Wang Rui-rong was first diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, and her cancer unfortunately relapsed 2 months ago. Despite being ill, Wang is still committed in carrying out Tzu's work at home, and her determination has inspired her son, Yang Huabing, to adopt a vegetarian diet.
Following the reappearance of her cancer, Tzu volunteer Wang Rui-rong and her son often chant Buddhist sutras together.
Chanting sutra is a good way to calm my anxious heart.
5 years ago, Wang was diagnosed with cancer, and after a period of remission, the cancer has now reappeared. Understanding the principle of karmic cause and effect, Wang not only peacefully embraces her suffering, but also has started repenting for her past mistakes.
Before, I didn't believe in karmic cause and effect because it is something that you can't see. I thought I didn't kill any chicken, but later I realized yes, I did in other forms. So I started repenting for wrongdoings I have done in the past. I repented for not treating all living beings equally.
Wang's disease taught her son Yang Huabing that all beings are equal, and he later adopted vegetarianism as a way to pray for his mother's quick recovery.
I adopted vegetarianism as a way to pray for my mother's quick recovery. I hope she will live longer and suffer less.
Wang is the leader of volunteers in her community. Despite being ill at home, with her husband Yang Nanshen's help, she has still managed to complete her volunteer responsibilities.
We hope she can recover soon and return to Tzu's strengths. Now we are thinking that since we are still able to do volunteer work, we have to seize the opportunity, or we may regret it afterwards.
I know my health is deteriorating and I may leave this world at any time, yet I pray to the Bodhisattvas for my quick recovery and good health so that I can continue to help others and walk the Bodhisattva path.
Facing the impermanence of life, Wang and her family once felt helpless. Thankfully, with the support of Buddhism and Tzu's ideals, they have learned to seize every opportunity to help other people and make the best use of their lives.
Of the applicants applying for this year's New Shoot Scholarship in Malaysia, Selangor, nearly 40% are Indian students from the nation's various Tamil schools. Thus, Tzu volunteers invited 6 teachers to join them on a visit to the homes of scholarship applicants.
Under the invitation of Tzu volunteers, 6 teachers from Selangor's Sedon Tilmel Elementary School are visiting this year's scholarship applicants in hopes of better understanding the Buddhist NGO.
Normally, only the CG people only will go to the house, and we only give out the forms, collect the forms, and pass it to you. Why can't we walk with you, step to the house, and look at the condition, what's going on?
Those suffering from arthritis, Deputy Principal Ganaswari Kaprupia joined the home visitations and even learned a valuable lesson along the way.
If the sisters are going to school, they need to tick the box here.
We are talking about this house very big. We no need to help. Why Cici must come here? But when we go inside, then only we know the true story, that this is not a house. So usually we learn that we cannot judge by the cover.
After visiting scholarship applicants, city volunteers also dropped by a co-recipient's house. The 16-year-old boy has been bedridden since undergoing surgery to treat his meningitis 2 years ago. His sister wanted to drop out of school to look after him, but changed her mind after the volunteers convinced her otherwise.
Though you haven't been to school for the past 2 to 3 months, it won't be a problem. As long as you have faith, we will help you to catch up on schoolwork.
I also managed a little bit to massage the little son. By doing that, I'm thinking I can have a kind of love to talk to them. God has given me a new chapter in my life to serve this community, at least through Suchi's channel.
Seeing those less fortunate, these teachers are inspired to turn their love into action and reach out to all needy corners of society.
In the history of Taiwan, there's a period of time where our country received up to 15 years of humanitarian aid from the U.S. government through various channels. The long-term aid not only contributed to Taiwan's rapid economic growth over the decades, but also revolutionized the traditional way of life for many Taiwanese citizens.
This restaurant not only offers a taste of traditional village lifestyle, but also the collective memories of Taiwan's military dependence villages. Hanging from the wooden beam is a vest and a pair of shorts made from flour sacks from the U.S. food aid program during the 1950s, preserving a remnant of America's footsteps in Taiwan.
There are many retired veterans who sold underwear made from flour sacks by the port.
The flour sacks are very useful and durable. If we cut them up and sew them, they can easily become a pair of shorts or a vest.
When the Korean War broke out in 1950, the United States joined to support South Korea, while the Soviet Union entered to aid the North and was subsequently joined by the People's Republic of China. To prevent a communist takeover of Taiwan, which had strategic military importance for the U.S. in the Pacific, the United States began humanitarian assistance to Taiwan. For the Taiwanese, the aid provided many families in remote and poorer communities with much-needed food and aid.
The flour ration was distributed according to the number of people in a family.
Food provided by the U.S. food aid program included, among other things, flour and powdered milk, which were distributed through the church.
We didn't even have to buy noodles, we would make them ourselves. As part of its humanitarian assistance, the United States imported large quantities of wheat into Taiwan and encouraged the Taiwanese people to change their eating habits.
For a country that has always relied strongly on rice as part of their staple diet, making noodles and dumplings from flour began a new trend of food culture. Food is necessary for people to survive, and the agricultural products provided by U.S. aid was a lifeline support. Yet for the Taiwanese government, the military aid was an even stronger source of support. Dressed in his military uniform, accepting a certificate from a U.S. military commander is Wu Zixiong, who along with 4 others were invited to attend training in the United States for 3.5 months.
Part of this plan was that the Americans would supply parts and accessories, and this included training as well.
On December 2, 1954, the Sino-American Mutual Defense Treaty was signed, which marked the beginning of U.S. military support for Taiwan. Under the treaty, the cooperative agreement greatly assisted Taiwan's military in its path toward modernization. In addition to the supplies of advanced weapon systems, the U.S. provided outstanding Taiwanese soldiers with the opportunity to train at a military base in the United States.
In order to reinforce the system of collective security in the Pacific region and prevent the spread of communist forces, the United States also provided humanitarian assistance and predominantly military support to countries including Japan, Korea, and the Philippines. Whenever we had gatherings, the overseas Chinese wanted us to wear military uniforms.
Each year, Taiwan received $100 million in economic aid from the United States, and by the end of 1963, U.S. aid reached a total of $3.6 billion, out of which $2.2 billion was in the form of military support. As Taiwan's military gradually strengthened, its economy also began to flourish and grow with American economic aid.
After the war, Taiwan's rapid development and success in the 1950s should be accredited to the United States. Thanks to the economic aid, we later have what was called the Taiwan Miracle.
U.S. aid to Taiwan started after the outbreak of the Korean War and was initially aimed to help secure Taiwan's future. However, the focus of the program later shifted to the development of infrastructure and industrial restructuring. Such resources had a crucial impact on Taiwan's post-war economy and helped bring the island out of an economic hardship forever.
To share the wisdom of Jingsi aphorisms, U.S. city volunteers in Northern California visited all the hotels and motels in the coastal city of Santa Cruz in hopes of persuading the owners to place Jingsi aphorism collections in their guest rooms.
Here in Northern California of the United States, city volunteers have prepared boxes of Jingsi aphorism collections to deliver to hotels in Santa Cruz. Seeing the arrival of the volunteers, the owner of a comfort inn says he has been sharing these words of wisdom on Facebook each day.
The ocean can be filled, yet the tiny mouth of a human being can never be filled. Wow. Wow. That's deep.
Knowing that city volunteers only want to spread wisdom, Sabrina Patel, the owner of Motel Santa Cruz, made calls out to her relatives who are in the same industry.
Can I send him there? That's really good.
And Sabrina's brother, Nan, also happily accepts the Jingsi aphorism collections.
Yeah, all the whole town it gets filled up.
That's exciting. So many people are going to be able to see this and they get wisdom from it.
Yeah, sure.
And that is from your generosity for agreeing, letting us doing this. So, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Among the volunteers are also university students who once received Suji's help. Though busy working odd jobs to support themselves, they all still seize the opportunity to give.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I actually went out and did that. And I really, really like the book, like how it has 4 languages. And
as Santa Cruz is a coastal city, there are over 100 hotels and motels of all sizes to be found here. City volunteers hope to promote Jingsi aphorisms in each so that tourists may find blessings in these words of wisdom.
Back to Thailand at the end of the show. After the 2011 flooding in Ayutthaya province, city volunteers have since held a series of relief work as well as development classes. As a token of appreciation towards Tzu, many local residents joined the recent free clinic to lend a helping hand. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.